Thanks, Yesenia. Thank you, Rebecca. You guys, let's take a minute and just give a good round of applause to Knit Marketing. I am out of my skin excited. This is just great. This is great. Wonderful venue, great idea. The Knit team did such a good job, and all the speakers, you guys are, you're the top in your field. This is wonderful. So I'm jazzed. So thank you. And I love to say my title is I'm the mom of the CEO of Knit Marketing. So that's a cool thing, and I get to hang out with the cool kids and all you cool people. And I'm going to talk about something that's not really that cool, but it works great. So we're going to just spend a few minutes on webinars, and I try to use the Knit colors. And we'll just kind of go through it. Maybe it'll work. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about, for context, so you can map to what you do or the audience that you have. But I have a couple different companies. I run a technology training and staffing company. Actually, I learned this morning from my story. Let's try this out. Let's see if I can remember my new story. We turn regular people into leaders worth following. Do you think that's good? A little better? Yeah, okay, all right. So I'm learning. So normally I would say we work with the Fortune 100 and we train their, it's all about leadership. So we turn regular people into leaders worth following. I'm kind of playing with that. So thank you. And so we do work with Fortune 100, and we have tried and failed. I mean, this is an ocean. Social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, we're really challenged on how to bring in new customers, especially at the Fortune 100, because the decision-making hierarchy to get anything done, our sales are large, multi-million-dollar sales, so the average life cycle is a long time. So how do I get to them? And we're having really good success with emailing them. We found our audience, we found our message, and we do webinars. And people will say, oh, email's dead, but it's not, it's working great. And also webinars are doing really well. So I wanted to kind of take you, what would you need to do before a webinar, during the webinar, and then after the webinar. And then tools we can talk about at the breakout session. So and that's what we're going to talk about, so we can move on. And don't worry, because I got your back. So he goes, it's a little bit distorted. I should have probably sent you the PowerPoint, but that's okay. So let's talk about the audience. First of all, we email maybe between 16 and 25,000 people to get 100 people. Now you might say, that's really bad, Robin. I don't want to, can we go back to Alex? But the 60 to 100 that are showing up are so good. So it's really worth it to us. So the first thing is before the webinar is really focus on your story and your audience and who are you pursuing? Who do you want to have a consistent conversation with? And I would say it's the same as what Alex just took us through. What is a conversation? And also what we learned today about podcasting. Could you do 6 webinars in a row? Could you plan them out? So a use case would be that we learned project managers. Is anybody here a certified project manager? Okay. So in a certification for project managers, it's a really tough test, and to keep the cert, they have to accrue professional development units. I know we have a CFO in the room, so I know accountants also need to accrue accountant professional units. I know doctors need to. There are different professions that have to accrue points. So we built webinars for people that have to accrue 60 professional development units every 3 years. They have to have it. They have to have it. And so we call it our free PDU program. And we identified where do those project managers live, and then we've got all kinds of topics that are pertinent for project managers. So the first thing was just really locating your audience. And now that I have a base audience that are showing up all the time, that are coming, now I can spin off and go, okay, well, I need people that know DevOps or Agile or bots, right? Or social media, because I have my core base, and now I can keep adding to it. The next thing is email tools. Tell me some of the email tools that you guys are using, like a MailChimp. Let me hear from you guys. What are you guys using? Okay, Infusionsoft, Aweber, MailChimp. You know what I like? I like SendGrid. I'm having really good results with it. And I've used GetResponse, Aweber, Infusionsoft. We use Salesforce. We also use MailChimp, but I really, really, really like SendGrid. So we use HubSpot. I mean, I'm a tool junkie. So, so you have to pick the email tool that's going to work for you. I would recommend just make sure you can get A/B testing, or ABC testing, or ABCD testing if you like. We have a lot of fun with, my header. So what SendGrid will do is it'll say I'm going to email 20,000 people, and then it'll automatically send the winning title out with the same body. But I could also change the body. I could ask for, do I want opens or do I want click-throughs? And it gives me all of that liberty. So it's pretty darn nice. So we use SendGrid for that. Now the messaging is interesting. So for the PM group, the PMPs, if I put the PMP logo at the top, I'll always get a higher. And pictures are weird, right? Because pictures don't really come through on the email, or they get blocked. But I'm having good luck with pictures, and then I put a really dorky picture at the end of all my emails, so people can begin to get a sense of, I'm kind of a dork, and that's kind of fun if you like dorks. So now here's another thing that's interesting. I mean, I go way, way back. I've always been in tech. So, and we always would have professional user groups. So in the old days, way, 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 way back, there was this thing called a fax machine. And I got this fax machine software where at night we would fax the world. It's like you can't spam people, you can't spam people, but I would spam people with fax machines. And it's very interesting. I would have to tell you I'm having an event or I'm having a webinar, and we had it click down. 2 weeks notice, hey, I'm having a webinar. And then another week, did you hear I'm having a webinar? And then another one hey, I haven't heard back from you. Really, I'm having a webinar. Okay? Now, just guess. How much notice do you think I give my audience of 20,000 people that I'm having a webinar? It's Tuesday at 11 o'clock. When do you think I'll email you? Monday. It's Monday. Like at 6 a.m. I might. And I only email you maybe 2 times, but really just once. That is so different than the whole staging of, okay, I'm having an event, and I'm gonna, just one time, and no notice, I've done it oh, sorry, it's this morning. And we get really good response. So the cadence is, we also don't have a particular day that we do the webinar. We do them all over the place because I am kind of still testing. But I think for my audience, because I'm working with so many people, their schedules and calendars are jam-packed anyway, it's a hit and miss. Maybe I'll get you, maybe I won't. So I'm leaving it all over the board, depending on when our speakers speak. So that's my cadence. All right, let's go to, that's before. Now we're going to do during. Timing is 40 minutes. It's a 40-minute presentation with Q&A after. So it's one clean hour. Now we are doing, how you can see where all these people showed up, but then they didn't really stay? Who runs webinars anyways? Couple? Okay. So we keep our people the whole hour. Do you know why? Because I give them a certificate for their PDU, and they can't have it unless they stay the whole time. And then I'll give them a bonus PDU if they do some activity afterwards, like fill out my survey. If you fill out my survey, I'll give you an extra PDU. So that's 2 for the price of 1. And we send you a certificate. We send you, but not just like a normal webinar, like, okay, that was great, I didn't remember anything I just learned. That we really, during the webinar, we get them going on the chat. So I'm like, hey, let me hear from you. We start out with something dumb like the morning talk show, right? So we're kibitzing about with our presenter, and everybody, let me hear from you in the chat. So I moderate the whole time. We bring in subject matter experts, but I will always present to the audience, look, this webinar is 50% baked. The other 50% comes from you, our attendees. And then I literally will save the whole chat and send it out after. So what I'm getting now is like really good experts from Boeing. Oh yeah, check this out. Or from Kohl's, or from T-Mobile, or Verizon. They're subject matters and experts in their own right. And now I'm getting this really rich chat. And so it's good. It also gives us some material to interrupt the speaker and say, hey, Dan, so-and-so just made this comment. Last one we did was 20 PMP nuggets. I was thinking it was going to be pretty boring. Okay, we had 75 people attend. It was a really good attendance for us. They stayed the whole time, and this wonderful person, Mary, said, hey, what's your favorite template, right? We love templates. And Dan had a couple, and so we thought, well, that's kind of a cool topic. Mary, thank you. So we created a Google, sharing drive, Google Doc, where everybody could just submit their favorite template. So I'm looking for engagement, but that came completely from one of our users. So during the webinar, we create a lot of engagement. We don't just have it, be one way. The other thing I wanted to tell you is, let's talk about webinar software. What are you guys using? The ones that use webinars?
Webinar Jam, GoToWebinar.
Okay.
Evergreen Webinar.
Okay.
Google Hangouts.
Which one? Google Hangouts?
Just having a landing page with YouTube Live.
Okay.
That's one way.
Is anybody using live streaming on Facebook yet? We're just about to start that. Okay. Instagram Live. Okay, excellent. What else do you have for webinars? GoToMeeting, and what was the other one you said before that? WebEx, yeah, and then Zoom. And we use so we do technology training as we're taking regular people and creating them to be leaders worth following. But we use WebEx as our normal commercial tool, but we really like Zoom now for our WebEx. We love it. We use Webinar Jam. If the speaker would be talking on Webinar Jam, because we really like the camera, we're full camera, he would talk, and then, then you would hear the sound later, so it would be like this. And another thing, right? So we really I love the sign up and registration of the Webinar Jam, but I have to have quite high quality audio video, and it kind of needs to match on the timing. So we're really liking Zoom. The other thing that Zoom does, so I can take all the things I learned from Yolanda today, is as soon as I'm done with the webinar, it actually gives me an MP3 for a podcast. So it separates those out immediately. So that is really cool. So now, here's your bonus secret for the staying this long. We just happened into this, and it is amazing. So Zoom, I really like Zoom because it gives you like the Brady Bunch, where you could have all the people on the camera, kind of like Google Hangouts was trying to do. So what we do is we're like, okay, thanks for coming to the webinar, that's great, we'll give you your certificate, everything's going to be wonderful, we're going to follow up, it's going to be just fantastic, thank you. And then, see you later. Now, we turn off the recording. So good, no editing. No editing, just get those things out there, right? So then we turn back on the recording and we go to the green room. Now we go all cameras up, because there's a setting you can do in Zoom so that you can do all cameras up. Looks like the Brady Bunch. And we do a 5-minute debrief with the speaker. We're like, hey Dan, hey Chris, hey Pam, that was really cool when you said this. And by then, so interesting, our speaker, they have so much momentum, they're feeling happy, they're feeling relieved. You know that feeling, like, okay, I'm done with my presentation, I feel good now, I can relax. I got them then, and we do a 5-minute green room with all cameras up, and we just talk about how great we just were. So funny, you guys. 16 people stay just to eavesdrop in the green room, and I'm using that piece as my lead piece now. So I'm creating a whole long tail effect after the webinar. So let's talk about after the webinar. So this is just really cool, and we just kind of slipped into it. So recording goes on, we're very professional, we're very wonderful. During, let me tell you one more thing we're doing during, I forgot to tell you. You know how you need, like for us, we're trying to sell corporate training. But in the last minute, with the last 5 minutes, we're rushed, everybody's rushed. Everybody knows you're gonna try to sell them something at the end. So guess when I now sell you something? Very beginning. Before, you're there, you gotta stay for your whole PDU, you're not fully acclimated yet, and we don't call it, we just call it, did you know? Did you know you could buy training from us? Hey, that's so cool. And so we do our sales pitch right at the beginning, and the other thing that we've noticed is now we're not racing for this thing that everybody doesn't like. Like, all right, I'll sit through the sale because, they just, give me some good. No, speaker's good, people are happy. It's a really good, we just end on a high, and then we go close that recording, open up the recording again, do a 5-minute green room, and then now we're done with that. So in the after, with the follow-up, we literally give you a certificate with your name on it. Robin Borough attended with this date, so you get a certificate. So if you're doing webinars, rather than just like, see you later, come buy something from me, give them something that's kind of cool. And people really like the certificate, and they need it for their professional development unit. But there are other things that people need to get credits for. Maybe they could put it on their resume, maybe they could show it to their boss, maybe they could accrue a bunch of them, and they could get a digital badge from you if they come to enough of them. So there's all kinds of neat things you could do with that. But now what we do is we immediately, as soon as we're done, so Zoom will show you like all of the webinar tools. It'll show you who RSVP'd and who attended. So we print that bad boy, just like bam, we're done. Everything's buffered, done. I give it to my team. We do use assistants in the Philippines, highly recommend it. If you have any questions about that, just ask me, because it's amazing. Bots are amazing, people are amazing. So by using my global economy, I get virtual assistants who have been with me for years. They cost about $350 to $500 a month. So cool. So we give that to Rachel. Rachel puts it into Salesforce, and we have a little drop down, attended, RSVP'd. Now I can run a report out of Salesforce for my sales team, and I can see who's coming to my webinars, who's saying that they're going to come but never does, who's actually showing up, and then, oh look, more and more people are coming from Oracle, or more and more people are coming from, Comcast. This is great. So they're telling a friend, right? Or who came to one particular topic and then never came again? Was it that topic? Now, another problem that we had is people were not giving me their direct phone numbers. So somebody asked me, Robin, how did you get people's direct phone numbers? Let me hear it. Somebody asked me.
How did you get those phone numbers?
That was such a good question. Thank you. So people don't want to give you they just want to come and get what they want to get, and they don't want to be bothered, they don't want to be sold. So we said, if you give me your phone number, we will surprise text you with a gift, a raffle. So right after the webinar, so our percentage of people giving us their phone, we have their phone number because I got their name from a list anyway, but I want them to give it to me. I want them to want me. But afterwards, we'll text them with like a $10 gift certificate to Starbucks, like right on their phone, bam. It's a way that we just keep improving on how can I get more engagement, how can I get referrals, how can I get people out. My goal for my webinars is to get people to buy my corporate training. But so we gave you a reason, we just keep iterating, like, okay, give me your phone number and you could win a raffle. And then we published the name on the next webinar, so-and-so won our last Starbucks card, so now people want it. So I'm at the end, I've got my RSVP list, it didn't just go into Excel. Then we immediately send the recordings off to my virtual assistants in the Philippines to transcribe it. I'm sure there's tools that can do it, but I've not found one that I like, and it's like an hour-long webinar, so I have them transcribe it. I have my green room, and now with Alex's help and everyone else's help, I'll take my 5-minute green room and start posting that on all the YouTube channels that I need to build. I'll have a transcript, and we can create 2 blogs per webinar. So I'm creating kind of like an ecosystem of content from the one piece of content, and it's working out really well, you guys. Our attendees are turning into paying customers, and these are really, really hard customers to get. So I look forward to hearing from you in the lab on how you can transform this for your own audience. And I think I got it. Oh yeah. So Knit Marketing did this website. I'm sure you're going to love it. Thinkers50eacademy.com. Knit did that for me. Knit does all my marketing for me, as a matter of fact. And if you join up to that and use the code ROBINVIP, it is a community that we're just starting. Has anybody heard of the Thinkers 50? I mentioned it a little earlier today. These guys are from the UK. It's been in business since 2002. It is a group of the world's top thinkers in the world. Top business thinkers. There's an award every 2 years. So I'm their e-academy, I'm their community. And so come to that because there's all kinds of content. We're building a community, but I'll give you free access for a year, and I'd love to hear from you. If you like business, if you like business books and you like authors, we'll have book clubs and all kinds of fun things. And also, if you are talented, which you all are, and you can be a video guy, a camera guy, a writer, graphics people, all the good. If you're looking for gigs, then I'm a staffing and training company at Omnikron. So email us, and we might have a really cool gig for you, or we might hire you, or we might place you with one of our customers. It could be so much fun. And you're also smart. I'll just pay you to sit and listen to you. So once again, that's thank you very much, Rebecca, and thanks everybody.